explain about introduction for this assignment. The first is project objective. The project aims to manage and implement a corporate office renovation to improve functionality, appearance, and efficiency, aligning with operation and staff needs. Second is a key activity. Main activity includes space planning, material procurement, contractor selection, and construction, all of which are interdependent for project success. Third is planning and schedule, a structure action plan with timelines, task dependency, and milestone with guide smooth and obstacle free project execution. And last is cost planning. Strong cost control is emphasized through detailed budgeting, continuous monitoring, and regular updates to the client, ensuring the project is completed and on time and within budget. Next, I will explain about the work breakdown structure, WBS. First is a project-based structure. The project is divided into 4 main phases. First is initiation and planning. Second is design and procurement. Third is construction and execution. And fourth is commissioning and handover. Second is detailed activity, and in each phase, each phase includes specific activity and sub-activity. For example, the construction phase involves MEP installation, wall finishing, ceiling and lighting setup, furniture installation, and IT infrastructure setup. Third is organized and structured workflow. The chart outlines a systematic flow from project start to final handover, ensuring all key areas like design, contractor selection, technical implementation, and staff training are carried out efficiently. Explanation about responsibility assignment matrix RAM. First is clear rule distinction. The RAM clear define who is responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed for each project activity. This ensures every task has a designated person or a department in charge, and supporting roles are well identified. Second is improve coordination and communication. With role clearly assigned, communication among the project manager, team leader, admin, and contractor become more efficient. They reduce confusion and speed up decision-making processes. Third is easier project monitoring and control. RAM helps project manager track the progress of activity, know exactly who to contact in case of delay or issues. It all support performance evaluation and ensure tasks stay aligned with schedule and budget.
My name is Umi Karisa Amira binti Amran and my metric number is T02285, and today I will present about project diagram. Network diagram is a graphical projection of project activities and their interdependency which guides project managers with coordinating and listing their activities. The diagram illustrates the framework of the order of tasks and the links between them, thus allowing the project managers to understand the complexity of a project and to allocate resources in the most responded manners. Network diagrams assist project managers four things, which is sequence task, identify dependencies, determine the critical path, and estimate project duration or locate resources. There are two types of project network diagram, which is arrow diagram method or ADM and predecessor diagram method or PDM. For ADM, the tail of the arrow denotes the start of the activity, while the head marks the end. The length of the arrow frequently indicates the duration of the action. Each arrow connects two boxes or nodes. Nodes are used to mark the start or end of an activity in a series. The first node is an activity is sometimes referred to as the I node, while the last node of a sequence is sometimes referred to as the J node. The only relationship between nodes and activity that an ADM chart may provide is finish to start or FS. For precedence arrow chart or PDM, Finish to start, FS, when an activity cannot start before another activity finish. Meanwhile, start to start or SS is when two activities can start simultaneously. Finish to finish, FF, is when two tasks need to finish together. Meanwhile, start to finish or SF is an uncommon dependency and is only used when one activity cannot finish until another activity starts. In this slide, I will talk about project network diagram to manage a simple office renovation for corporate client. The first thing we need to do is to define the scope of the project, which are site inspection and requirement gathering, interior design planning, budget approval, dismantling and clearing existing furniture, electrical and network wiring, ceiling and partition work, painting, flooring, installing new furniture, and lastly we will do final inspection and handover. For the second part is list the activities with their dependencies. This is the table that we will make and use to do and list all the activities for this renovation. For the third step is we will draw the project network diagram. I will explain a little bit about this step. We will use activity on node or AON. Activity A, B, C, and D is a linear sequence of prep work. After D, two paths diverge, which is electrical work, E, and ceiling work, F. G for painting depends on F, and H flooring depends on both E and G. I furniture depends on H, and J, which is final inspection, follows I. And then for the fourth step is identify the critical paths. So path number one is the critical path, which is the project take along 21 days to finish. In this slide, I will talk about project scheduling. A project schedule network diagram displays the chronological and logical linkages among tasks in a project scenario. The visualization is based on a clear description of the sequence of tasks and events. A project network diagram is often represented by a chart with boxes and arrows. This network diagram tool is used to organize the project schedule and work orders, as well as to track progress through each stage, including completion. A network diagram is also useful for demonstrating the scope of the project because it comprises all of the major tasks that must be done during the project. For this slide, I will talk about calculate slack and identify flexible task. Slack or float is equal to LS minus ES or LF minus EF. Is slack equal to 0, that means task is on the critical path or no flexibility. Meanwhile, if slack is more than 0, the task has scheduling flexibility. From the table above, only activity E, which is electrical or network wiring, has slack equal to 3 days, which means you can delay activity E by up to 3 days without delaying the entire project. For this slide, I will talk about project milestone. Project milestone is a tool for project planning that marks a certain point in a project's timetable. It indicates the beginning and end of a project, the completion of a major phase of work, or anything else worth mentioning in a project, such as the creation of project deliverables. Enable project teams to focus on important progress points in a project, assisting project managers with project planning and scheduling. Project milestone also helps project teams coordinate their efforts by ensuring that everyone understands the project's objective and the action step required to attain them. Project milestone divide by two, which is milestone chart and milestone planning. The first one is milestone chart. Milestone chart is a graphical planning tool which defines a project by separating it into stages which are characterized by milestone. It is commonly used by project managers or sponsors to give a non-technical representation of the project schedule to stakeholders and project staff, with the additional extension of listing all the tasks that make up the work. For milestone planning is a methodical identification of milestone in a project schedule. It is usually performed the process where they identify the critical points in the project life cycle and assign it a milestone status to ensure that the project team is aware of the critical deliverables, activities, or phases that have to be accomplished.
Gantt chart is a visual project scheduling tool. It shows the timeline of project tasks across week. Each bar represents the duration and timing of a specific activity. The purpose of this Gantt chart is to organize all renovation tasks in a clear sequence and to track time in each of activity. However, it is also to ensure all work complete in the 5-week project window. The Gantt chart is to improve clarity for all stakeholders, aid in time management and coordination, support on-time delivery and budget tracking. Tasks are arranged in logical order with no overlap in critical phase. Resource smoothing has been applied to prevent worker overload. Milestones such as execution start and client sign-off are aligned with end-of-week activities. The Gantt chart enables the project team to identify overlapping activity and manage dependency, to track task progress against deadline, to ensure efficient allocation of human and material resources, to monitor key milestones like execution start and project completion. The project phase for the first week is project initiation budgeting and communication planning. The second week is design finalization, procurement planning, and contractor selection. For the third and fourth week, site work begin, demolition, structure work, MEP, flooring, and painting. For the last week, which is week 5, the final installation, system testing, inspection, and handover.
Hello, my name is Nur Akila binti Muhammad. My matric number is 302142. I will explain about project resource management. For this office renovation project, we plan the resource based on each main activity. During the space planning stage, we need two interior designer and one project coordinator to prepare layers and get client approved. This will take about 1 week. While the design is being finalized, the procurement team will begin ordering materials like furniture, paint and lighting. This involves one procurement officer and one admin assistant and take about a week. At the same time, we will hire contractor with the help of one HR manager and the project manager. This process will take around 3 to 4 days. For the construction phase, we will need 2 electricians, 2 carpenter, 2 painter and 2 general workers. The work will be supervised by one site supervisor and the project manager. This phase is expected to take 2 to 3 weeks. Overall, the resource plan is designed to balance the workload and make sure the project runs smoothly without delays. In this project, we use resource smoothing to make sure our workers are used efficiently throughout the renovation. At first, all 8 workers were scheduled to work at the same time, which will have causes overcrowding and uneven workload. So, we adjust the schedule slightly. For example, we move the painting work to start after most of the carpentry was done, and we rotate general workers to assist where needed. This help us balance the number of workers each week without changing the project deadline. It also help reduce safety risk, control labor costs, and make the workload more manageable for everyone involved.
Okay, this is part D, the project cost planning. So in project cost planning, there are two things that we need to involve. First is the effective cost planning and the cumulative budgets. So in the effective cost planning, it is essential for the success of any renovation project because it is involved estimating the activity costs such as the budgeting over the project timeline and evaluating the cost performance using tools such as the S-curve. So to accurate cost estimation include all the necessary components such as labor, the materials, and equipment for various project stages such as the electrical work, carpentry, and inspection. This will ensure financial transparency and allow stakeholders to understand where resources are allocated. So next is the cumulative budgets, which are aligned with the key project milestone such as the initiation, design completion, execution start, and project completion. This will help track expenses and manage the cash flow. With the help of the S-curve graph, it can use to visualize the budget spending over time, typically showing the slow cost at the beginning and the rapid increases during the execution. So this is the estimated activity cost. For example, in the labor cost for material sourcing is 500, and material cost for material sourcing is 5,000. Equipment cost is zero, and the total cost is 5,500. So in the electrical work, labor is 1,000, material cost 3,000, equipment cost 500, and total cost is the 4,500. For carpentry work is 1,500 for the labor, and material 2,500, and equipment cost is 700. So the total is 4,700. In the painting work, the labor cost is 800, material cost is 1,000, equipment cost is 300, and the total cost is 2,100. So in the final inspection, we estimate the labor cost is 600. So material is zero, equipment is zero, and the total cost is 600. So next is the cumulative budget cost. There are 5 weeks. So to complete the four activities in 5 weeks. So there is first is project initiation, second is design completed, third is execution start, and fourth is the completion. So the total budget cost for project initiation is 2,000. For the design completed is 6,000. For the education start is 12,000. So the competition total budget cost is 2,000. So in week one, for the education start, we will divide the 12,000 i- into 3 weeks. So each week is 4,000. So in week one, we will use 2,000 in the project initiation. So the cumulative is 2,000. So in week two, another 6,000 is going to be used. So the cumulative is 8,000. So in week three, we will use 4,000. So the cumulative is 12,000. In week four, we will use 4,000, another 4,000. So the cumulative is 16,000. So lastly, we will use 4,000 also, and the cumulative is 20,000. So lastly is the S curve cumulative budget cost versus time. So as you can see at the picture, the graph increase such as the S curve. So it's starting at week one and at 2,000. So it increased into 8,000 in week two. It also increased to 12,000 in week three, 16,000 to week four, and lastly 20,000 in week five.